you're not worthy.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I've always wanted to try this shit. Arrogant Bastard Ale. What a name, eh? Finally got hold of some of this stuff from the beerhunter.co.uk website. I'll talk to you about them in a minute. But this is an almost legendary beer. It's brewed by the Stone Brewing Company. Now, if you don't know who they are or you've never heard of them, they were the pioneers of the West Coast IPA style, and they brewed this stuff and it just took on a mind of its own, and now it's like its own brand. I mean, they do everything. They do the ale obviously, but they do t-shirts and stuff like that, and they also do a Pilsner as well, which has got some link to Metallica. I'll see if I can get hold of that and review it. But this was brewed using the ethics of the Stone Brewing Company. They're great, they're American, they basically are a craft brew company, and they sticking two fingers up at the big corporations. I'll give you a little bit of the spiel on the back, it's really good. He said, this is an aggressive beer, you probably won't like it, it is quite doubtful that you have the taste or sophistication to be able to appreciate an ale of this quality and depth. Fucking hell. We would suggest that you stick to safer and more familiar territory, maybe something with a multi-million-dollar ad campaign aimed at convincing you it's made in a little brewery, or one that implies that their tasteless, fizzy yellow beer will give you some more sex appeal. Perhaps you think multi-million-dollar ad campaigns make a beer taste better. Perhaps you're mouthing your words as you read this. That's fucking brilliant. So the attitude of Stone Brewing Company is just fantastic. Hang on a minute, I forgot to put my mic on. So yeah, so that's basically what it's saying. It says Arrogant Bastard Ale has reviled, oh, for fuck's sake, I always sound like a retard when I'm fucking reading off the side of cans and bottles. Arrogant Bastard Ale has revelled in its unprecedented and uncompromising celebration of intensity since 1997, and will never pander to the lowest common denominator. There have been many nods to Arrogant Bastard Ale, even outright attempts to copy it, but only one can ever embody the true nature of liquid arrogance. Cans are better, period. Okay, awesome for beer quality, infinitely recyclable, environmentally responsible. Yeah, so it's got some attitude, and of course it is 7.2% in the volume, so it is pretty strong. I've seen reviews of this and everybody was panning it for some reason. I don't think they got what it was, but I'm just going to stop waffling and open it up. Right. What's on the nose? Sweet malt. Very sweet malt. Let me just fill this out. Now, as I say, I've got this from beerhunter.co.uk, and I ordered some more of their stuff, and it never showed up, and I had to ring them, and I was a bit pissed off over that. And when I rang them, they said, oh yeah, because I ordered some Stone Ruination IPA. They said, we can't get that, they've sold out, which I was, you know, they're selling it on their website, so I was a bit pissed off over that. I ordered some of the Schlenkerla, the smoked beer Weiss. We haven't got that. I was like, well, fucking hell, you've got it on your website. And I said, can I replace it for something else? And they went, well, you know, they said, oh, we'll just replace it with like for like. And at that point, I just wanted to get hold of some of this, so I said, yeah, fine, whatever. And they threw in, they said it was going to be overnight. It didn't turn up overnight, but it turned up today. And they threw in some of these Hanover beer, well, pretzels they are. I'll review these in another video. And They also threw in 2 cans of this. I only ordered 1, they threw in 2. And the beers that they substituted were, they gave me 2 cans of Cloudwater West Coast Pale, and they gave me a bottle of the Augustina Hells, which is my favourite lager, and in my opinion the best lager in the world. And they give me a lovely little tulip glass, and yeah, and them nuts. And I just think, well, yeah, that's pretty good. That's customer service done right. Even though, you know, I had to ring them up and chase the order, but yeah, they made it right in the end. So they're going to get orders from me again. So well done, Beer Hunter. That's how you do it. That's how you win customers over, by doing things like that. Anyway, back to the beer. Here it is in the glass. Now that's cloudy. It's a ruby, a dirty, murky ruby colour. There's a big sort of brownish head on that, beige head, frothy head. God, it smells of really sweet malt. Let's get it down the hatch and see what's going on. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Right, what you're getting on the initial, wow, fucking hell. What you're getting as you initially drink it is sweet malt, very, very sweet malt. And then the mouthfeel is super smooth. I mean, I can't see any carbonation in that. Well, I can see very, very light carbonation in that. Mouthfeel is super smooth. And then when you swallow, that goes down, and then you get a rush of bitterness. And it tastes like roasted malt bitterness, and mixed in with hop bitterness. So there's bittersweet going on with that. And the nearest thing I can compare it to is, I don't know whether you remember, there used to be a beer called Caffrey's that was out years ago. You don't see so much of it now, but I remember when it first came out, it was a cross between red ale. No, it was a cross between like a bitter and a stout. I think that's what I was trying to achieve, and it was super popular because it was very smooth. I've got a story about it, I'll tell you that in a minute. This is really nice. I can understand why the American judges who were judging this on these reviews, they didn't get it, because there's no big hops in this. It's all about the malt. This is more akin, if you're British and you tried this, you'd say it was a very sweet ruby ale, or a sweet and smooth ruby ale, or an equivalent to Caffrey's in that sort of ilk, because you do get a lot of caramel stout. You do get a lot of caramel malt on that, and you get there's some chocolate malt on that as well. So them malts in there but they've been roasted quite a bit, but it's quite nice. It's really good. There's a lot of bitterness on the back end as well, like, I wouldn't say harsh bitterness, but you're expecting like a sweet finish to it, because you know you've got initial burst of sweetness from the malt. That never comes. It's on the arse end of it. That is bitter in a good way, and I like it. Quick story about the Caffrey's thing. When it first came out, it was popular. It was so popular all up and down the country, and I remember going to a West Ham Arsenal away game, and I was in an Arsenal pub, and they was selling Caffrey's on draft, and I was stood by the bar waiting for a mate, and in the space of I was early actually, and in the space of about an hour, I must have seen about 20 or 30 people order Caffrey's. It was just flying out the door, and that's what this reminds me of. And anyway, yeah, it was really popular, and I knew this fella from up north. He was a lorry driver from up north, and we was talking about Caffrey's one day, and he said, he said they had an offer on in my pub: drink 5 pints and get the glass. They had this really nice glass, and I've seen the glasses. They're like a sort of a glass tankard, all glass engraving on it. What's the engraving they do on it? Caffrey's and all that. He looked at bollocks. So he really wanted one. So he drank 5 pints on it, got the glass, went outside, fell over, smashed it. Silly bastard. Anyway, that's the Caffrey story. Back to this beer. I'm really liking it. You're getting super sweet malt, and then that just gives way to big chocolate, dark chocolate bitterness on the back end. That could be the hops that are doing that, but there's still little elements of sweetness from the malt. And as I say, I can understand why some people won't get this, especially Americans, if they're used to their IPAs and their super hopped light drinks, or their lagers. This will just blow their mind. But for us over here in the UK, and even in Germany as well, I'd imagine, dark beer, European dark beer like German and Czech dark beer is pretty similar to this. You don't get the initial sweetness with the European stuff, but the bitter finish on the back end, that's all about the dark beers in Europe. It's really nice. I really like that. And I love the ethics behind this brewery. I love that artwork. That artwork is fantastic. You know what, when I saw this, I bought 2 of their t-shirts just because I love that. I love that artwork. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it's got the demon that's drinking the beer. And they use that on the Stone IPAs and stuff like that as well. They have that demon, and I think it's a fantastic logo. People have got that tattooed on them. I'm not quite ready to go that far yet, but I love it. And what would I give it? Well, if you like your dark lagers, your European dark lagers like Budvar Dark and some of the the old Bavarian dark, that's a little bit sweeter than this, by Iyengar. You're gonna like this. If you into your sort of ruby ales and stuff like that, you're probably gonna like this. If you like Caffrey's, you're gonna like this. It's Caffrey's without the bullshit. That was full of chemicals. The hangovers from that shit was fucking disastrous. But it's good, and it's got a great name, Arrogant Bastard Ale. So I love everything about this. I love the attitude of Stone Brewery, sticking it to the man. So what would I give it? All in all, everything, the whole lot, 9 out of 10. And the reason I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 is because of the price. This was nearly £4 a can, so it's not cheap. But if you want to try it, and if you want to, I'm going to keep this can. I'm just going to put it up. I might put it up in front of my missus so she sees it when she wakes up. She will not be happy. But I would really recommend that. Try it. Get it online. Go to beerhunter.co.uk. Really good service from them. They're based up north in, I think it's Manchester, and they really come up trumps for me. I had to prod them to get the order done, but yeah, I mean they knew they'd fucked up and they made it right, which is fine by me. That goes a lot further with me than just passing the stuff out. So well done, beerhunter.co.uk. And there you go. And I'm fucking knackered now after all that. And remember, beer is working class champagne.